Hello, my name is Monique Lerington, and you're joining me for this 30-minute mindful movement series practice today. Today we will be doing a practice standing, and you really don't need much in the way of supports. You don't even really need a yoga mat today for this practice. So feel free to come as you are to this practice, and the intention of this practice is to invite you to wake up to the present moment. And that may be through the felt sensations of the body. So coming back down into the body and tuning in and resting in this awareness of the sensations as we move and shift our shape. The intention of this practice is also not to really worry about the look of the shape, but more so the invitation is to really gather your awareness on the sensations as we are moving and shifting rather than how we look. So it might even be that today you wish to close down your eyes as you listen to my guidance to really feel your way into the body if that helps. And if that doesn't, then you're very welcome to keep your eyes open throughout the duration of this practice. Or you might feel like you want to interchange between closing your eyes and keeping them open with a soft gaze. So I want to take a moment now to just collect ourselves and to move into that awareness of the whole body, bringing that attitude of patience to this practice and trust that our bodies can move in a way that is safe and supportive. They're the words that are coming to me now, safe and supportive. So trust, and also this non-striving attitude of letting things arise and bubble up as they are, and noticing if anything is becoming challenging or if there's a particular effort in some of the movement, then you might choose to sort of back off. Noticing again with that non-judgmental attitude that there's nowhere to be, there's nowhere to get to with this practice. It simply is moving mindfully. So our attention as we start to begin to settle in will be placed on the whole body as it is in this moment. And I'm sort of starting to shift my weight in through my feet as I start to wake up to the sensations in the body. And as I start to move my feet out just slightly, this is how I feel I sort of need to be, to have a bit of a broader stance in my feet. So there's that invitation to sort of start to tune into the body and see how it feels and what you need in order to be comfortable in your stance right now, right here. And I'm swaying a little bit because that sort of helps me and my body and my mind to settle down back into the earth, to really feel connected and to feel the heaviness of the feet bearing down and anchoring down into the earth. It sort of helps me to find this sense of equilibrium. It might be different for you, so doing whatever you need to find that sense of being centered in your own body. And then if you like, you might choose to close down your eyes here for a moment. And as you tune in, starting to wake up to the whole body, noticing how it is for you in this moment, how it is for you right now. And as you begin to become awake and aware to the body, perhaps noticing here if there's any particular sensations that are most vivid in the body right now. As your awareness begins to expand and open, Just noticing what sensations are most vivid for you in your body right now. It might be the connection of your feet to the earth. Perhaps there's some sort of sensation in the lower back, or achiness or tingling. Or maybe you might be placing awareness on the fingers and the arms as they dangle by your side. Or maybe it might be that you're noticing a bit of tension and tightness in the upper body. So just placing your awareness where the attention is flowing to, what you notice is most vivid in this moment, what's arising. And if it's safe to do so, just inquiring here and exploring the sensations. And then very gently starting to turn your awareness now towards the breath. And you might notice that as you breathe in that there is some movement of the body with the breath on the in-breath, perhaps some swaying or some circling or some movement in the upper body or the lower body. And this could be a place that you can anchor to as well throughout the practice. So if at any time things become challenging or difficult, we could always come back to our anchors, which could be simply just connecting back with our feet down to the earth, or it could be for you that you like to come back to the breath. So whatever is accessible and available for you, feels safe and supportive. It might be tuning into the sounds that brings you back to the present moment. There's no right or wrong, just finding your way and your practice. So on the next in-breath, we're going to slowly start to move the arms up. And as we reach the arms up towards the sky, we're going to see if we can start to lift up off our heels. It doesn't matter if we wobble, that's perfectly fine. Remember, anything is available. Anything is possible in this movement. There's no right or wrong. The mindful movement is just simply placing our awareness on the sensations as we move from shape to shape. And then slowly coming back down again, letting the arms float back down or fall back down heavily, whatever feels right for you. Your movement, your practice. This time we're going to lift our right arm up and then explore the rotation of the right shoulder. Now, if there's any shoulder injuries, we'll know, so we might only just do a very small movement. But if it feels fine and it feels available and it feels fun to explore this sensation, interesting, to inquire here, then just begin to move like a windmill, very gently, moving as if we're breaststroking backwards. And one last time, exploring this side of the body and this rotation of the shoulder, noticing what sensations are here for you. And then letting the arm settle back down by its side. Seeing what's here for you. Maybe there's some tingling in the fingers, maybe not, maybe no particular feeling at all. Maybe some coolness or warmth. Just exploring with that kindly awareness and real calm attitude here today. Not needing to get anywhere in particular, but just being with the breath and the body and the movements as they show up. Not needing to look a certain way. There's no end goal here. We are just simply being here with the presence of the body. And then from here, we're going to start to move into the opposite arm. Remember the options of very small movements, or if it feels right, you perhaps might want to take the arm up all the way, lifting towards the sky, and taking this backstroke-like movement as we move the arm up and around. And just noticing perhaps this is a different sensation on this side. It feels different from right to left. And just exploring with that kindly awareness, loving awareness. And then slowly coming back to your center and letting that arm rest by your side. And you might choose to close down your eyes if you're here, just to get a sense of the shift or the change that might be felt from the movement in the body. And now we're going to start to slowly bring in some movement into the lower half of the body. So we're going to sort of shift and lift the heels off the ground and just step into the toes, and maybe even step out a little bit wider. Shift and lift. And then maybe bend the knees and shift and lift. So just starting to feel your way into your body, drop in. Notice what it feels like to move from side to side. Starting to move the body, shift its shape. And then maybe, even if it's possible, we're going to dangle the leg up off the ground, bend the knees, shift and lift, and go to the other side. It's only small movements, but we can invite in whatever feels right. So if we can't lift the leg off the ground because of too much instability or it doesn't feel safe, then feel free to stay with the original movement. But if you want to explore your range of movement and start to sort of notice what it's like to be off balance and what that feels like for you emotionally. Maybe the thoughts start to rise up as well as we start to move and shift into these poses and postures, and noticing what the mind does as we start to challenge ourselves with some different shapes and different movement here. And remembering this is a non-judging practice, so really letting everything arise and just being here with it. Not needing to achieve anything in particular, but just moment by moment, watching and observing this other person here, just watching otherness, oneness, seeing how we are with just being with the movement. And then slowly coming back to your center. And as you do so, we're going to take the arms behind the back and snuggle our shoulders so that they feel relaxed enough to be able to clasp the hands behind the back if that's available. I'm going to bend into the knees, and as we do so, sit forward as if we're sitting forward in a chair, and explore this range of movement and how that feels on the legs, on the knees. Inhaling, lifting up. And then exhaling, sitting. And if you don't inhale on the up and you exhale on the up, that's perfectly fine. Just finding the breath and moving with the breath, bringing the breath and body together as one. Noticing what feels right for you in this posture. Imaginary chair pose as we sit down into that imaginary chair. You might choose to sort of go a bit deeper if it feels right for you to do so, and exploring what it feels like to sit and squeeze the muscles, noticing the effort that it takes to do so. So purposefully being with that sensation, and then inhaling, lifting back up again. And you might choose to go slow. So this is your movement, your opportunity to be with the body and to notice what it's like to move and shift in these shapes. It's mindful movement, what it affords you, what gifts, what insights it gives you into your own body. Perhaps noticing some resistance as we move and shift. Or maybe we're enjoying here the sensation of flow with the breath. Or perhaps something different. And then lastly, coming back up into a standing position again, and just allowing your whole body to relax. Letting your arms relax down by your side again. Maybe even stepping back into a more sort of neutral position if that feels right for you. Wherever your feet need to land, that's fine. Taking what you need exploring again all the sensations that you're left with now after having moved the body, shifted the body. You might even wish to close down the eyes just to settle back, to tune back in. And on the next in-breath, if your eyes are closed, we're going to open the eyes again and step the legs out a little bit wider this time if we can. So wherever is comfortable again in your body, what's available, just wiggle and shift the hips, placing the hands on the hips. And just notice what that feels like. We're just going to wiggle it out, whatever way feels good. And if you notice that there's any resistance in the body, then we're going to sort of shift and rotate through the hips. And notice what that feels like. There might be some sensation in the lower back. And wiggle it out. And keep the knees bent as much as you need, wiggling it out through the hips, through the lower half of the body, seeing what it's like to shift your hips and really wiggle, move the pelvis back and forward, exploring the lower half of the body. This wonderful body that moves in all different ways, very capable, unless there's injury, unless there's some restrictions. But if we can, moving in a way in your body that feels safe and supported, and that you can sort of explore what ways the body moves, how it moves. And then bending the knees and standing back up. So just bending the knees and a little bit of a squat, and then standing back up. So as we become aware and awake to all the sensations that are here for us now, a little bit more of a energetic practice when we're moving a little bit more fluently. Notice how that feels. Does it feel like to be asked to move and to shift your shape? And maybe even an opportunity to explore and inquire here if there's any resistance or any sense of wanting to move away from this doing mode of shifting and changing. It could be something to explore, the thoughts that might be here and arising, bubbling up, the emotions, maybe echoes of emotions in the body. Remember, there's no right or wrong. This is an opportunity for us to be here, to be present, to just explore what's arising, body, breath, and mind. And then standing back, and as we come back to a standing position, staying as you are, we're going to take the arms out and just allow the palms to lift towards the sky. From here, take a nice big in-breath. We're going to sweep the arms up overhead and then brush the back of the head and push the breath out. And maybe sink down into the knees. And then move forward, gathering the backs of the hands, inhaling and exhaling. Let everything settle back down the center of the body, back down to the belly. And again, inhaling, rising up. And then taking your exhale, moving the arms behind and through. Exploring this movement in the body, this flow. Inhaling, picking it up, back of the hands, rising through the center. And then flowing back down, settling back down. And let's do this a few more times in silence so that you can really start to gather your awareness onto the body and how it feels to move in this way with your breath and body. Going at your own pace, not necessarily mine, whatever feels right for you. 2 more times. Last time, coming back down the line of the center and just pausing with your breath and your body again. Opening your awareness to the whole body. Settling back down into the body and just noticing here there's no right or wrong. But if the mind has wandered, the mind has travelled and journeyed elsewhere, choice to stay with the thoughts, with the emotions as they arise, or perhaps your choice might be to come back to the anchor, come back to the breath, come back to the sensations of the body. And then slowly we're going to walk the feet back in, stepping the feet back into the center of the body, letting the arms slowly drop down by your sides. I'm going to take a very slow movement of just very gently letting the arms circle around the body, wrap around the body. So we work into the side body and up a little bit higher. And then we're going to come back to center. As we start to bring this practice to a close, we're going to give ourselves cuddle and just very gently move the hands around the shoulder blades. And if you like to rock, then feel free to do so. If not, then just standing as you are, rocking gently. And then a nice big open arm, open-hearted hug, and then opposite side. A little bit of a gentle rock, arms crisscrossing opposite side. And then very gently letting your arms move back down to the sides, letting your head move from left to right. Letting go of anything here, any resistance. Noticing if there is any resistance here. Perhaps inquiring if it feels safe to do so. And then coming back to your center. Perhaps if you wish, closing down the eyes and just bring your awareness back from the crown of the head, back into the body, and then gently glide and slide your awareness slowly down through the limbs, through the body, from the eyes, down the nose, the cheeks, the jaw, back of the head into the neck, the shoulders. Sweeping your awareness down the left shoulder to the arm, upper arm, elbow, lower arm, wrists, palms and fingers. And then glide your awareness now down and sensing your way down from your right shoulder into the upper right arm, elbow, lower right arm, wrists, palms, fingers. And then glide your awareness to the back of the neck muscles, the back of the shoulders, the mid-back and the spine, the sides of the body, the lower back, the curve in the lower back, the buttocks and the tailbone. And then gliding your awareness down from the throat into the collarbones, the front chest, the rib cage, the expansion of the breath through the center of the body, all the internal organs, the lower belly, below the navel, the hip bones, the heaviness of the pelvis, the front thighs, the inner thighs, the outer thighs, both legs, the back of the thighs, And sense the back of the knees, the front of the knees, the lower calves, front shins, inner and outer, lower legs, back of the heels, feet connecting down to the earth. That real solidarity of feeling the feet meet the earth. The toes, left to right, all 5 toes imprinting into earth. In between the toes, the tops of the feet, the inner arches, the outer edges. The whole body. And take a moment to be with your whole body in the breath. As we close this practice, take a moment to repeat after me if you wish. May I be healthy. May I be well. May I be at peace. Take some time for gratitude for having been able to move in such a way for this practice. And when you're ready, starting to move and shift in whatever way feels right for you to close the practice. Thank you for joining me again. My name is Monique, and this is the Mindful Movement series. I'll see you next time.